My name is Matthew Webb, and I'll give one second to do this thing. Great. I'm the founder and lead developer of a studio called Incognito Limited, and I've been graced with many kind words which you read out, and I'm just going to go through what we're doing, the things I have seen done, and kind of how I got to be talking to you here right now. So, to begin with, in the real world, I am a software engineer for a major defense and simulations designer and contractor. Basically, I support board games and live training exercises throughout the world, having to deal with both emergency services and military exercises. So pretty much I get to train soldiers with tanks that have laser tag on them, which is kind of one of the coolest jobs ever. And this is augmented reality. This is perhaps one of the first examples you can get is the military exercise or the war game. And the fact that we overlay a fictional world over the real world and have computers reacting real time to the actions of soldiers with basically the most expensive laser tag rigs you've ever seen. And my hobby is slightly different. On my off hours, I like to dress up in weird clothes, act like I'm someone else, and get into fights with my friends, while losing touch with reality. You know, live action role playing. The differences between augmented and alternate reality, I'll offer my own definition because that's what you have to do in these talks, is I direct an act and try to emotionally embody someone else. I'm playing a character. And that is the biggest difference between the two, in my opinion, is that I'm attempting to do that. You might want to dress up like Ash if you're playing Pokemon Go. That sounds like a lot of fun, but it is not core to the gameplay. So therefore, Pokemon Go is an augmented reality game, but it is not a LARP. Next slide, please. So this is how I put them together. I decided to found a company called Incognito Limited because I decided it might be cool to see how you could put tech and LARP together. So Incognito Limited's business is we just make software for LARPs. We make augmented reality apps for phones, online character management software, and mobile games with wands and weapons and all sorts of cool stuff, which we'll talk about later. But we aren't the only ones making software, but I think we're the only ones making LARP-only software. And occasionally we get to justify playing around with some really cool toys. That is a VR demo we did at an actual LARP park outside Austin. So our first project was a game called Planetfall, which we created with an engine we designed called Axiom. Axiom is used Planetfall as its test bed and is the first mobile-driven LARP, where most of the mechanics are handled solely through a mobile phone. The Axiom engine is a mobile app joined with an online server. The online component handles character creation and management, and the mobile app component handles everything from economic actions to health countdowns. You scan things in the real world, you get actions and information based on what character you're playing. So it is a fully interactive game engine. What happened when we started doing Planetfall is that the technology made the world live on its own in a way that really surprised us. We really saw the potential. Usually in most LARP games, you're not dealing with a very high-tech environment. Information, challenges, and events are managed by staff members or by index cards or open this envelope if you have skill B. Here, the software interacts with the environment. You scan things, you know what your character knows. It allows you to simulate knowing things you do not, and allows us to give a depth of information that usually wouldn't be available. And each character has their own skills and abilities that integrate with the world in an interesting way. If we fast forward to May of 2017 in Berlin, Germany, we start working on another project called Artweaver, in which we built the world of darkness in a way that was pretty unprecedented. Whitewell Publishing is preparing and is to launch a new edition of Vampire the Masquerade and their seminal World of Darkness line. At World of Darkness Berlin convention, their partners in the Participation Design Agency, who was our client and good friends in that, decided that they were going to do something extremely ambitious, and we were brought in to help them. They decided to run a one-night game throughout Berlin, renting out nightclubs throughout East Berlin's club district. And they were going to bring in over 250 players from everywhere from Australia to America to Russia to play in a single night. You can imagine how much of a problem that was. Everyone needs characters. They need backgrounds. They need who they're playing with. They need instructions on how to play. They know they need to check in to say that who they're going. You're managing 250 players over a 2 square mile area, surrounded by mundanes who don't know what's going on. So we had to create a guide and a way to guide 250 players to create the secret world of Berlin in this beloved setting. So we created LARP Weaver. LARP Weaver guided everyone to get the characters they wanted, distributed information, and just made the game run. And one of my good friend, Johanna Peterson, who was the main writer, said he simply would not have been able to do it with the software without the software. This simplified running a 250-person game to the point that it could even be possible. So, because of their efforts and because of the excellent writing team, we ran a night in East Berlin in which we had, you have not lived until you've seen 250 black-clad vampire players storming through the club sections of Berlin. That was the best experience ever, and everyone had a blast, and they chose the characters they wanted, they found out what they wanted to do, and they got it months ahead of time, and they costumed up, and they made it great. And they were all super fans, and it was a fantastic thing. Our satisfaction rate with the characters from that event was 92%. And if you ever talk to a LARP organizer, 9 out of 10 of your players being happy is pretty damn good. So, where is this going? For our part, the technology is going to be, we're opening up the gates of technology in a big way. We are going to be helping more and more games using the tech that we developed throughout the world. Everyone of those little white dots is a game in the next 1 to 2 years that we're negotiating with to run their stuff through our software. And we're going to be blending together our original engine Axiom and LARP Weaver together so that we can have these giant interactive experiences where your characters are chosen by you, created by you, and you interact with the world seamlessly. And you can have hundreds of players without ever talking to a GM, which is very different than a typical LARP setup. And our biggest story is that, and we just inked this deal a few days ago, is that Fort Ivy's Legacy Game Systems has an incredible augmented reality vest and rig that interacts with weapons and scanners and props of all sorts. They call it the Damon platform. And they have contacted us, and we're going to be designing the games that will run on it. This is not a software or a piece of hardware for any one particular game, but is designed as a piece of technology that will allow us to take all the nuance and depth and incredible information that comes with, say, an MMO or Pokemon Go and turn it into an actual physical experience in an incredible way. And Kristen is going to talk about that.
Hi guys, so my name is Kristen, and as we've already said, I am from Legacy Game Systems, and we are basically taking the really cool software capabilities and putting it into hardware that allows you to interact with the world in a more immersive way. So, for instance, right now we're working on a game called Spellslingers, where you've got actual wands, instead of like in a laser tag situation where you've got a gun, you've got a wand, you have different buttons, different spells that you can cast. There will be gestures, so like gestures, you can wave your hand in certain ways and certain spells will go off. And so it'll allow you essentially to simulate like having a wand duel in real life without it being just pretend or like, you know, playing in a video game or something. You're in real life, and how cool is that? So what we've developed, first of all, is the hardware that goes into such things as wands. It's also going to work in things like swords, guns too, pretty much like any sort of weapon that you could use in a fight situation. And then that's going to basically communicate with things, these little sensors that go on your body. They Velcro in certain spots. It'll detect who you've hit, who hit who, what your HP is, and it's all going to be basically tracked on your phone. So as you're playing, you're going to look down and be like, oh, I'm dead. or maybe I lived. Or I'm out of mana, or all those sorts of things. And the versatility that we're going to have, as you mentioned, we're not just doing things like spell casting or like fantasy. We're also doing things like zombies. We're working on one LARP where, as you use skills, your skill is going to increase. So as you use your sword, you'll get better with it. You'll cause more damage, which would be like the same thing in real life. And then as you don't use it, you'll decrease in skill. So it's basically taking the things that you've always kind of wanted to have in a LARP, but never could because of the mechanics, being able to track it in your head, being able to make that work in like a game, like rule system. And taking that a step further, so I'm also working with Epic Armory. And we are taking this hardware and this software and making it look good, because nobody likes to LARP and look not good. We want to look good while we're doing it. So working on things, we're actually developing costuming so that we can disguise the sensors. They don't look so weird while they're on your costume. And then also developing cases for the wands so that they'll look pretty spiff and not just 3D printed. And we've also got things, in terms of Epic Armory, I don't know if you are all familiar, but we are one of the largest LARP gear creators in the world. We're based out of Denmark. And actually, if you want to, later, I have so many of these catalogs if anybody wants one, but we have a ton of stuff, including our new Stronghold weapons. So this is another cool technology right now. Technology is not just about necessarily like the software and like circuitry. It's also what you use to create stuff, right? So in the past, your LARP weapons were made out of PVC, pipe, and a little bit of foam, some duct tape. Now we've got stuff that requires absolutely no maintenance. It's extremely lightweight. Our Stronghold weaponry, basically, it's the top of the line LARP weapon that you can get right now. So check it out as well. If you want to come over and afterwards, pick it up, feel it, feel free to do so. But anyway, so making things look good and, making LARP all the more immersive, that's us.
Thank you, Kristen.